Regardless of what your opinion is on the Russell Westbrook trade, you gotta admit that following the Lakers this season just got even more interesting. With that being said, let's take a look at some of the free agents that the Lakers should target to fill in the rest of their roster. As of now, there are only 4 players on guaranteed contracts on this roster, taking up a whopping total of $123 million of salary for this following season. As currently constructed, those 4 players are LeBron, Anthony Davis, Marc Gasol, and Russell Westbrook. Counting in forward Alfonso McKinney, who's on a non-guaranteed deal, the Lakers would have about $12 million before reaching the hard cap. They will also have $5.9 million to offer thanks to the taxpayer mid-level exception. Before we start naming players, let's address the team's biggest needs. The most obvious weakness on this roster is shooting and off-the-ball playmaking. Each of the Lakers' new big 3 are all statistically below average 3-point shooters, which means that the 2 other players on the court with them will have to be shooting threats. The next biggest need will be defense. Westbrook, although as athletic as he is, has never been known for being a lockdown defender. In fact, he was sometimes even criticized in the past for often gambling too much on steals and also leaving his defenders early to get rebounds. At this stage in LeBron's career, it's also unfair for people to ask him to be that lockdown defender he once was. For the Lakers, it would be huge if they could somehow re-sign unrestricted free agent Dennis Schroeder and restricted free agent Talen Horton-Tucker. It all comes down to whether they garner a lot of interest amongst teams. If a team comes out and throws a lot of money as well multiple years for THT, it'll be real difficult for the Lakers to re-sign him. With that being said, the players we are going to talk about will all probably be signing veteran minimum deals. The first player right off the bat will be forward Wesley Matthews. Matthews, a career 38% 3-point shooter, will be a key re-signee just because he brings that veteran 3-and-D presence for a cheap price and is also already familiar with playing next to AD and LeBron. The Lakers will also need a backup point guard, and Jeff Teague looks like he could easily fill that void. As putrid as Teague was his previous finals, remember that they aren't asking much of him, just an overall solid vet that can handle the ball and play some minutes off the bench. He's also a decent 3-point shooter as well. My favorite overall big that they should target should be veteran forward Ersan Ilyasova. Ilyasova is as seasoned as they come and a very reliable shooter, as he is a career 37% shooter from 3. Signing Ilyasova would be huge in lineups where AD would take the 5 spot. Another player I like a lot for this team is veteran big man Mike Scott. Scott is a career 36% 3-point shooter, which is pretty good for his size. Also important, he can run the 4 in lineups with AD at the 5, which would greatly help with spacing. He's also a physical and tough player, which never hurts. A player similar to Scott's skill set, who is also set to be a free agent, is forward Patrick Patterson. He will also give them depth at the big man spot, and he himself is also a career 37% 3-point shooter. These are pretty much the players that I see could possibly fit with the Lakers for this upcoming season. Remember that none of these names are going to be particularly big just because the Lakers don't have a lot of money to spend at all. Let me know if you guys think of any names I missed out there on the market, and also if you agree or disagree whether some of these players would be good fits for the team. As always guys, thanks for watching and see you next time.